legend of Scrimshand. Long ago, the landlocked city-state of Gudgeon was home to a semi-literate merchant population and one prolific writer. Scrimshand wrote from dawn until the lamplight waned and his crispy eyes were shuttered for the night. He wrote the local newspaper cover to cover, created books for children of all ages, and gave adults his latest thriller, comedy, or adventure novel when they came of age, all hot off his basement printing press. It drove people nuts. You couldn't sit down in a cafe without finding a new novella or pamphlet on your chair. Public toilets contained vast tracts of Scrimshand's inner thoughts that vandals struggled to obscure with sufficient obscenities. The authorities tried everything to stop Scrimshand, flooding their lives with unwanted words. They raided his one-room home and confiscated his writing gear, but the author always found new ways to publish and spread his work. They tried locking him up, but Scrimshand found prison restful, and even without pen or paper managed to scribble down epic tales using scraps of charcoal and wood. Eventually, the townsfolk decided to hire an assassin from the bordering state of Hake to stem the flow. The assassin was called Hawk. When Hawk went to Scrimshand's modest home, he found him hard at work. In fact, he barely glanced up from his typewriter when the murderer approached, brandishing his pistol. "I've come to kill you," Hawk explained, because he was a straightforward kind of man, of the type Gudgeon's citizens admired. "I see," said Scrimshand. "Any chance I can finish this story first?" Hawk smiled. Then he asked a question, because he was more curious about his victims than many in his trade. "Why did you do it?" he asked. "No one likes your work. On the contrary, you drive people crazy with it. You never married. You've got nothing and no one in the world." "I have my work," Scrimshand explained. Then he took off his glasses and rubbed his eyes. "It's true that things haven't worked out the way I hoped, but what choice do I have but to continue? What else can I do?" "Here's your answer," said Hawk, shooting him dead, and the ending to your story. The people of Gudgeon felt some remorse after sanctioning the death of their writer-in-residence. The mayor cried crocodile tears and arranged for giant banners containing quotes from Scrimshand's work to be hung from the balconies of public buildings alongside the author's likeness. A week of mourning was declared. Flags flew at half-mast, but despite all this, the people were relieved that they would never have to read another word from Scrimshand's pen. Then Hawk invaded Gudgeon. The invasion was swift and almost bloodless. Gudgeon had no standing army. The mayor was executed under a giant Scrimshand quote that he did not understand. The governors of Hake told the citizens of Gudgeon that the banners would be kept up around their city indefinitely, to remind them of how weak and stupid they had been to tolerate such a fool in their midst for so long. Decades of feuding continued until both Hake and Gudgeon were incorporated into much larger countries that left them to their own devices, so long as they paid their taxes on time. Several hundred years later, Scrimshand was declared a genius. This helped no one from the time and would do little practical good to anyone in future, bar providing part-time work to those involved in Gudgeon's small and highly specialised tourism industry.